Well, ladies and gentlemen, the day is finally upon us. The Stanley Cup playoffs right around the corner. They're literally happening today. But the important series, the only one,
It's
begins
Avalanche Eve.
tomorrow. What?
It's Avalanche Eve.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Eve.
Aviv. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we did a nice little, probably lengthier than it should have been, preview of all the other series yesterday.
I feel like an hour was probably good for all
It
the other
probably
series.
fit, but now we're gonna give you an in-depth preview on this series. So, I mean, without further ado, let's just get into it. I can pull.
Just give me stuff to talk about, and I'll talk about it. I don't really know where to start, so
I just still have a graphic for it. I forgot about this. I could pull this up really quick, just so we can have it. I forgot about this. Give me a second. Oh my god.
I think I want to start with.
Hang on.
Let's just start. Let's start with Seattle, shall we?
Yeah. Well, let us start with Seattle.
All right. So let's just start up front. Jared McCann, that's their guy.
That is
he scored 40 goals. Yep, as it says right there, 40 goals, career year for him. And he scores a lot of his goals with wrist shots from the left circle, the top of that circle. That's just kind of his jam. It's the other side, so it's like his strong side.
And it's not one-timers, it's wrist shots.
No, it's wrist shots from the other side. Yeah, and that's how he scores a lot of his goals. And I mean, in all 3 games against the Avs this year, you saw him take that shot like probably 4 or 5 times a game. And I don't think he scored once on it.
No.
So
he did not.
But that is his bread and butter. And that's how he scored probably half his goals, I'd say.
Shot a whopping 19% this year.
Yeah. And he's got a good shot. I don't think that's going to ever happen again in his career, but he's got a good shot. So
right.
But yeah, so that's their guy. And then their top 2 centers are Beniers and Gord, however you want to.
Right. Yeah, I don't know how they're deployed. I'm assuming for this series, I would think probably Gord is their 1C. They would prefer to have Gord take a tougher defensive matchup against McKinnon, but I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Very quietly, Matty Beniers was very good defensively this year.
Yeah, not very good offensively.
Really not good at play driving at all. He's kind of like JT Compher this year.
Less not good and more very bad.
Yeah, very bad at it. He was like JT Compher this year.
Right. Didn't drive a lot of play, but he was really good defensively, and he got points,
because
when play happened. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I honestly I don't know, just the top end of their forward core. It's not nearly as high end as Colorado. And I mean, the feather in their cap is their depth with guys like
it's all about depth. Yeah.
Sprong, Tolvanen.
20 goal scorer, Daniel Sprong.
Bjorkstrand is really good player.
Bjorkstrand, Schwartz.
Schwartz is good. I was expecting Bjorkstrand to score a lot more goals this year than he did.
He shot 10%. I don't know how that relates to his regular shooting.
That might be a little low for him. He's got a really good shot.
It's a few percentage points low. He's shot 12% or above the last.
Right. He's usually been around like a 20 to 25 goal guy. And this year, I don't know if he got to 20 this year.
He did get to 20.
He did?
Barely. He's literally at 20.
Okay. So, yeah, a few goals short for him. What he usually gets to, but he's a good player. And I mean, Brandon Tanev's a pretty good player.
Yeah.
All this to say, they've got a lot of depth up front, and that's just kind of the feather in their cap. So
yeah, it's all about system and just kind of scoring by committee.
Mm-hmm.
Which, as we know in the playoffs, is not usually like a good
That's
system to rely on.
right. Well, and the thing that was interesting to me about their play driving this year is it was league average at 5v5. It was exactly league average.
Right.
And they scored a shit ton of goals at 5v5.
Yeah, they far and away had the best shooting percentage in the NHL.
They shot over 10% at 5v5, which is crazy.
5v5 for an entire team is like.
Right. And for a team like that, where it's just like they just don't have that high-end talent that would lead you to like the Blues last year. Like they have guys, right? Like Kyrou, they've got a bunch of those guys.
Right.
Yeah. But Seattle, they've got a few, but like it was just surprising. And I mean that number did trail off. It was like 12, 13% at about the halfway point, and it got all the way down to 10 and change, but that's still really, really high.
Right.
Especially for a team that drove play at a league average rate. So I don't know. I would expect it to come down a little bit.
Right. I mean, if with the Avs getting their full defensive lineup back, if Georgiev can continue his pace of the season, and I mean, which is much more sustainable than shooting 10% as a team.
Right. I mean, we'll get to the Avs in a second.
Right. But
just comparing their forward core, like they don't have the high end, but they do have the depth. So we'll see if their depth can continue shooting 10% with league average play driving. Right.
Yeah, that's a big deal. A lot of guys are shooting over 10% for them. There's a few key guys, especially in the depth. Eli Tolvanen, Ryan Donato, Daniel Sprong are like big producers for them in their depth. Daniel Sprong has always been one of the better goals per 60 guys in the NHL.
But yeah, he should probably be like a top 6, like a number 6 in a top 6. Yeah, he's kind of like Burakovsky, kind of. And I obviously Berkey, he's like Walmart Burakovsky, where like I don't know, the fancies don't look amazing, but then you look and he's got 20 goals, you're like, wow.
Yeah. By Burakovsky, by the way, if the people weren't aware, will not be in this series.
He'll miss the whole series. At first, he'll miss the start of it, and then yesterday, I think it came out that he'll miss the entire series.
Right.
So,
bad for Seattle. Sucks. Bad for Berkey. Good for my heart.
Yeah, very true.
He's there in spirit.
Right. So you're not getting the Kraken at full strength because he was their leading point scorer before he went down about halfway through the year.
Right.
It's a lower body thing. He's getting surgery. So wish him the best.
Yeah, hopefully he's all good. Also, other former Av, Jonas Donskoy did not play at all this year, so no expectations for him to play.
Yeah, man, concussions suck.
Yeah, I feel bad for that guy.
Me too.
And then obviously Philipp Grubauer in net. That's the big.
Well, so I think it'll be Grubauer. Martin Jones is healthy now.
I think
finished the season hurt.
You keep talking about the goalies. I'll be right back. I need something to drink.
Okay. So Martin Jones finished the season hurt. He appears to be healthy, but I still have a feeling it'll be Grubauer just because of how he finished the season. He jumped up from like an 885 up to an 895, which it's not very good, but 10-point jump in a little bit of time is solid. So he's been playing well. And he's also at about league average, or at about 0 goals saved above expected. I think he's a little under. So
last time I checked, I think it was something like that.
So he was just okay this year, better than last year.
Yeah, and I think he'll start just because he played so many more games than Jones did down the stretch, and I mean, I think Jones, like in the last like 30 games, Grubauer played 20, and he had like an 890 or something like that, and Jones had like an 850.
Right. And I mean, Jones has
Just
been
like,
hurt too. So it's just kind of been Grubauer's head for a while. And so, I mean, we'll
that's
see.
good. They're playing the big bucks too, so
We'll see how that goes. I don't imagine there's a long leash for Grubauer. If he gets rocked, I don't think they're going to have any problem going to Martin Jones.
I don't know. I think I don't. I wouldn't expect a cakewalk. Like I mean, like I said, I keep saying this.
Right.
Every time the Avs play him, it's when he's at his best. It seems like.
Right. I'm just saying, like, I just don't think
Yeah. No.
whoever starts, I just don't think there's a long leash there.
I agree. With those
if
two,
things go south.
Yeah. They're going to have to rely on their defense as well, which I think is something we should get into.
Yep. Their defense is been lucky all year with injuries. They kind of just roll Dunn, Larson. That's their pair. And then they do
Alexiak and Borgen.
Alexiak and Borgen. That's their shutdown pairing. And then they do Schultz and Susie. And Justin Schultz, little known secret, not very good, like bad. I know he looks okay when he's playing, but he's not very good at all. And then Carson Susie's a solid third pairing defenseman.
If Gabe Landeskog was here, Carson Susie would be scared right now. Gabe Landeskog owns Carson Susie. But yeah, it's so that big, Dunn and Larson is a big thing, but it's comes down to Alexiak and Borgen is going to be their big, that's their shutdown pairing. That's what they're going to rely on, and they're big guys. The Avs have played Jamie Alexiak in the playoffs before. You know how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, he'll get away with a lot of stuff, and that's just kind of how it's going to be. And I think, well, yeah, their shot suppression all year was really good. 13% better than league average. It's really good. They keep it to the outside. They don't give up a ton. They're also not a great puck moving unit.
Right.
So it's more the forwards doing that. But really good at team defense. Kind of like similar vibes to the Wild, like just team defense.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's they don't they don't really like muck it up per se. They're just kind of
they kind of do.
Like a little bit, but I think mostly it's just basically like smart hockey,
Right.
They move the puck efficiently and effectively, and they
at least the forwards do. Like the defense is more of just like a chip it out and see what happens.
Vince done, and then everybody else is just kind of like,
right,
y'all do the work.
Right. Like they can move pucks, but it's just not great. Like Larson, just a defense guy. Alexiak, not the best with the puck. Borgen, not the best with it. Schultz, I guess, can move pucks.
Yeah, Schultz.
Susie's not very good with it. But yeah, not a great puck moving unit, but a good shot suppression unit. So the Avs will have to break through. Something else about the Kraken, they run a 2-1-2. They have two guys up on the Avs.
They forecheck aggressively.
Very aggressively. So something that I was a little frustrated with during the season is the Avs weren't taking advantage of the middle of the ice being so wide open. Because it's when you have a 2-1-2, like you just got to get past those two guys, and then you got a lot of room to skate.
Yeah, I mean, you hope with a full that's where it comes down to the defense. If you get good puck moving out of Cale Makar, Sam Girard, Devontae, Spo, and Byram, then
I think you're gonna get.
you should get. If you don't get it, then you're.
I'm confident they're gonna get that.
Right.
So I just feel like you have to take advantage of that stylistic I don't want to say mismatch, but just how Seattle plays. That's just how they run their neutral zone. It's a
Right.
2-1-2.
They forecheck aggressively, and with the Avs'
Mhm.
speed, that can cause some problems for themselves.
Yeah.
And it's something the Avs, need to be able to take advantage of to score goals in this series. But I mean, I'm thinking about the goals they scored. I don't know. There haven't been a lot of them. It's been a weird. I wouldn't use the season series so much as like a thing.
No, I would. And that's something else too, right? Because first game of the season is at the start of the year. The Avs don't have Devon Taves.
Right.
Lose 3-2, close game. Pretty
Frankie
defensive
lets
game.
and an absolute softie to lose it.
Yeah, Frankie was not good. Second game, it's a back-to-back for the Avs. You get Frankie and net again, and it was a pretty even game until the Avs kind of lost their legs in the last 10 minutes.
And then
Again, very injured. They still won in a shootout. So,
and then the overtime game where they were probably going to win, and then Nathan McKinnon
whatever
didn't want
that
that
was.
to happen.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
they all full sail changed with 3 guys on the ice, which, if you weren't aware,
They did do that. That happened. Yes.
It's not a
Mhm.
thing in playoff hockey. No such thing
No.
as overtime.
And they were very injured again. So,
Right.
Yeah.
So
I just don't put any stock into the games
Right.
in the regular season.
Yeah. So, is there anything else we want to talk about for Seattle? I mean, as far as like possession numbers, pretty solid. I mean, their goals for percentage is the second best in the league, tied with Toronto.
It's just
So
they
score a
finished
lot
at
of
such a
goals.
high clip
Yeah,
at
5v5.
5v5,
I mean,
and they didn't probably deserve to.
right. They were the only team to crack 200 goals for 5v5.
Yeah.
This year.
And they didn't deserve to. They're just not.
Probably not. Yeah, I mean, high danger chances creation percentage, they're below the Avs, the Capitals, the Senators,
Yeah.
the Sharks,
Yeah.
Flames.
That's what I'm saying, man.
The Penguins.
They don't create a lot, but they score on what they do get. So
right.
And that's it's just not teams that play like that just don't really go very far, unfortunately. Yeah. So yeah, that's Seattle. They're a quality hockey team. It's not going to be like Nashville last year, where first round you're getting a bunch of scrubs. Yeah, it's going to be they're a lot better than that. So, and their defense is a lot better than that Nashville defense was last year.
Yeah.
And I mean, the goalie is going to be the big thing for me here. Like,
goalie is
Philipp Grubauer can play well. Then Seattle.
Yeah, is Grubauer going to? I mean, I don't think the Avs are going to regret not signing Grubauer to a 6x6, but is he going to do his best to, prove him wrong? I guess would be the thing I would say.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. What about Seattle? Got some Avs news today.
Yep. We everybody is healthy except for Gabe Landeskog, kind of. Darren Helm is. I don't think he's not going to be playing. I don't think. It doesn't look like it.
I would expect to see him sometime in the series, though.
Yeah, at some point, because that's the kind of season it's been for Darren Helm.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Big Diesel in the playoffs, dude.
Big Diesel. Playoff mode is something else.
Dude, he was so good last year. Andrew Cogliano, too.
Right.
That guy.
Cogliano.
I can't wait, dude.
It'll be interesting to see how Matt Nieto does. How
he's been historically really good for the Avs in the playoffs as well.
Yeah. Mr. Short-handed goals.
Yep.
Yeah, you thought LC was good with the shorties until Matt Nieto gets to the playoffs.
Yep.
Yeah, it's I mean, Kel McCarr said he was going to be back. It looks like Josh Manson's going to be back. Josh Manson is excited for playoff hockey.
I guess. Singing "It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year" on the way back to the locker room today.
He's excited,
dude. These guys are psychos, man. Like, this team is just a bunch of psychopaths who, muck their way through the regular season, and then the playoffs come, and
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's fun. They're having fun. I mean, Tefon Taves tried to interview Kevin Carr with his flip flop.
Just to put like you could just tell how much life they had today. Just these
Yeah,
psychos who just these adrenaline junkies who just want playoff hockey.
playoff hockey
They want it
gives
to
them
mean
life.
something. Yeah.
This is what they're here for. This is what they
Yeah.
sat through 82 games of injury hell for.
Yeah. And that's why uh I mean we'll get to our predictions at the end, but um I mean the Avs let's get into the forwards. I mean, you all know it by now.
Right.
McKinnon and
Absop,
Rantanen. Seattle's got nothing for those
big
two.
good. Those guys are big good.
Very good.
Some
Good
good
plurs.
players.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's
It's the old Mike Babcock would say. They're good plurs. And then you got Comfer, Nichushkin, Lekin, and Erod to fill out that top six. And I believe it'll be Erod up with those two to start, which
yeah,
is
so
what I would have done too, because that line was quietly awesome.
yeah, so I think there might be a point, at least this year. I don't think this series it'll be a problem, but if they move on, then they'll have to. I think they might have to split up Miko and Nate, but we'll see. But without them, we've noticed Val Nichushkin has not been very good on that second line with Confer and Lehkonen. He's gonna have to kind of go to back year last year, like early season nuke mode.
We're gonna need Stanley Cup final nuke. That's what we're gonna need. And then I mean, the top six is what it is, but I did want to get into the JT Comfort thing because
it's a I don't know.
Who are we going to get? Are we going to get Stanley Cup Finals games 1, 2, and 3? JT Compher, who was really good and not only treaded water but excelled in his matchup,
But I
or are
mean,
we going to
even
get 2021 JT Compher?
yeah,
where
we're gonna
he
get Vegas
drowned?
series.
Mm-hmm. So,
Yep. I mean,
or
literally,
get somewhere in the middle because I think the Avs win the series comfortably if it's just somewhere in the middle, like just tread water. Like,
I mean, if he's not, even if he isn't doing very good, if he doesn't just like actively if he isn't actively,
if he's not actively harming you,
yeah, if he's like literally not just putting the puck in your own net, I think they should be able to take it, but we'll see. Yeah, he's their big key for this whole playoffs because he just really has to, just keep doing what he's done all season, to be completely honest.
Right. I mean, that line is such a shutdown line. Nichushkin, Lycan, and Comfer.
Oh, yeah.
So I just think that's going to be a nightmare to play against for Seattle,
right.
for Matty Beniers.
And that's where you can see that line really succeeding is that, you have all that offense on the first line, and then it's just defense, forecheck you, beat the crap out of you.
Right. It's like, what do you want? Do you want to put your top guys against the Avs top guys and they just get devoured for, 20 minutes? Or do you want to put them against the second line where they would have trouble doing anything at all the entire game? Like,
and might even get a few might still get devoured.
Yeah, might still get devoured. Or do you want to? I mean, and I think this is where the Avs are a little vulnerable. Is that third line? Eller, I think Eller's a really good defensive center. Newhook and Malgin. I mean, we'll see, man.
Will the great Dennis rise to the occasion?
Yeah, and Newhook, like that line's key because I trust that line to not hemorrhage too much because Lars Eller, he's a great defensive center. He's done this before. Like,
and Alex Newhook has continually put up
he's okay. Okay, defensive underlines, like passable, solid. And Dennis Mulligan's very quietly are also solid. So
it's really just, this is a big year for Alex Newhook because last year, in the postseason, he was a healthy scratch half the time. Didn't score a single goal. Did he get an assist? Like at all?
I don't know,
Let me see.
but he wasn't very good. And
No.
yep, that line's got to be that line is
Yeah,
such an
4
X factor for
assists.
the Avs.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. He had
But
that one over to Comfort in Game 1 of Edmonton to get the game tied.
that's true. Yeah, that one where I was like, "This is why you play Alex Newhook. Play this guy."
Where the 5 minutes of that line together, they scored 2 goals. The
Right.
Comfort Burakovsky Newhook line.
Yeah, we got this
Uh-huh.
great third line. And we were like,
Uh-huh.
hell yeah! And then Kadri got hurt, and it was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, it was Berkey first, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Berkey, and then he came back for the Cup final, and then Kadri. But by that, Kadri was out. So
yeah. And then I think the fourth line for the Avs it's going to be what it's going to be, right?
Right. We saw it
LOC is a
last
staple. Year. LOC will play for sure. Andrew Cogliano will play for sure. I don't know who else it's going to be. Probably Nieto.
Yeah, it'll probably be Nieto, and those guys will just do their stuff. I mean,
be totally fine.
You let them cook.
And then, yep. And then the defense. It sounded today like it was just Taves and Makar. Like those two were back. And then it was
why mess with greatness?
And then it was exactly how I wanted it to be. It was Girard and Manson, which worked super well. And then it was Bo and EJ, which has always worked super well. And obviously, I think Bo will probably get some shifts up with Girard, Manson, Makar.
Yeah, they play with that,
They'll play with it. Yeah, exactly.
They always do.
I think Bo will end up sitting around 20 minutes a game. He'll play a lot of 5v5 for them. And then I think EJ is probably going to be kept to like 12, 13-ish minutes. So you can just play the top 5 a ton. Josh Manson around 18, I would assume.
Yeah, I mean, all those guys can eat minutes. I mean, we've seen it.
Like, it's just – I'm just so excited.
The defense is – I mean, this is what the Avs invested in, and this is where they're going to have to make their money this postseason. They're going to have to do – I mean, they're going to have to do a lot. They're going to have to play heavy minutes, play good defense, and also contribute points.
Right. This is their secret this is their secret infusion of depth scoring.
Right.
The defense is the second line, dude. Like
Josh Manson.
Yeah. Like ever since Josh Manson got here, he's been a 40-point guy. Like
dude, he's a chaos monster.
Just don't tell anybody, dude. It's our little secret. Josh Manson is a 40-point guy.
Right.
And like Sam Girard, 40, 50 points. Devon Taves, 50, 60 points.
Dude, if those two can do it, I mean, all they have to do is just do what they did last year.
Exactly.
I mean, pretty much do what they did last year, except this time maybe Bowen Byram can score some goals.
Yeah, and Sam Girard don't get boarded by Barbashev.
Yeah, well, look, that won't have to happen. Look, if that happens, it'll be in the Western Conference Final, right?
True.
So, won't be as long.
But yeah, man, this defense is exciting.
Oh, yeah.
And backstopping them is going to be Georgiev, who was just so good this year.
I don't know, man. Could we get a surprise star from Keith Kincaid? Start Jonas Johansson in the playoffs?
I would rather start one of those two than Michael Hutchinson, let me tell you.
I don't know, man.
Or Andrew Hammond, man.
No, you took it too far. Andrew Hammond in the playoffs is I'll take it. I'll take him over most third goalies.
Nah.
Hey, man.
But yeah, I mean, Alexandar Georgiev, he was really good all year. We still just don't really know.
This is the postseason. Yep, this is the only question remaining for Alexandar Georgiev is how does he play in the playoffs? And I mean, very rarely do you. I mean, we've seen it. You see guys who show up in the, goalies who've never been in the playoffs before. Sometimes they don't do too good. But I mean, all you gotta do is just keep doing your thing. I mean, his job should theoretically get easier right now.
Right. Because of the defense. But I mean, he met the moment time and time again.
Yep.
This year, he met the moment. Start of the season when most goalies would be acclimating themselves to a new system. He just stopped pucks, and he dragged the Avs to a very injured Avs to, they stayed afloat. And then obviously when the injuries got too bad, his play dropped a little.
He had like a little bit of a lull in December, and then
right, but at that point, the third line was Foodie, Hudon, and Galchenyuk, and it was like,
okay,
I can see why the Avs are hemorrhaging chances on a night-to-night basis. And he's not saving all of them. And then
super strong. Right after he was like, I'll just be good again. That's okay.
Right. They got healthy, and I think the rest of the way he had maybe 2 bad games. It was that Dallas game, and then I didn't like him in Nashville, and that's all I can remember.
Right. Yeah, the last game of the season and the one that
not very good against LA, I guess, either, randomly.
Oh, that yeah. I still maintain that he was actually,
but he wasn't horrible. Yeah. So
let's see here.
I don't know. He's met every single moment he's been presented with in the regular season.
Okay, so February 929, March 907, not as good. April 917.
I think March there's one game that really lowers that. I believe it's
the Dallas game.
The Dallas game, yeah. Other than that, he was really good. And then what was he in April?
917.
Yeah. So the
January, guy. Yeah. So this season he was 918 in October, 932 in November, 900 in December. Obviously not very good. 933 in January, 929 in February, 907 in March. April 917.
Above 900 in every month.
He just can't play on Sundays, apparently.
I guess. But dude,
or Thursdays.
He
really bad on Thursdays.
He was so good this season, and for 2 third-round picks and a 5th-round pick.
All right.
Top 10 goalie. He's met every moment he's been presented with this season. Now he's just got to do it.
Yeah, he's only played one game against Seattle this year,
and he was really good. So
he was very good in that game. Yeah, I mean, he got scored on by a breakaway and a wide open chance in front and deflection.
Yeah, and I mean, I think he made.
And obviously, it was a Sega Baba, and the team in front of him played awful.
Yeah.
Well, whatever. That doesn't really matter.
So.
Yeah. No. It's he's with whatever. I mean. It was the same thing with Kemper last year. Can he just continue to do his thing? I mean, Kemper didn't really matter, but I think Georgiev's can't really get away with that this year. Georgiev has to, keep on keeping on. I mean, nothing that he's been doing is unsustainable at all. So,
right. What's your prediction?
Well, let's give some X factors really quick first.
Oh yeah, forgot. For Seattle, I want to say it's some of those depth snipers like Tolvanen, Sprong, Bjorkstrand, those kind of guys. You can't really pick one because if you're getting production out of those dudes on a consistent basis, they're going to be tough.
It's tough out.
Yeah. So,
for Seattle, I mean, obviously, I think we could both agree it's probably Grubauer is the real X factor, but the other X factor, I would probably say is Matty Beniers. I mean, just because they need that infusion of skill to compete with any sort of thing the Ash can throw at them. I guess Jared McCann too, but I feel Jared McCann is what he is. Yeah.
Can he continue to fill the net like he did this year, or is he going to go back to the 25-ish goal guy that he was before?
Yep. Jared McCann, and I mean those 2 guys. It's kind of the the Hurricanes thing. You need a guy,
right? And the thing about the Avs is, I'm just confident that Makar, McKinnon, and Rantanen are all going to show up, and they're all going to ball out.
Well, I mean, you have
Um,
no reason not to. I feel like, I mean, with Rantanen, he wasn't. I mean, last year he had a little bit of a down. I mean, he didn't start very well, but remember that was
there's
also
context.
he was like ill.
Really sick, lost a lot of weight,
Yeah.
really just not
So
in good physical condition.
you hope that without having to deal with that this year, that he can, you know, get off to a better start and you know he
Yeah,
scored 55 goals this year. He's also going to have to fill the net for the Avs, but
yeah.
he's not my X factor for them, obviously.
My X factor for the Avs is Bowen Byram.
Bowen Byram, okay. I was thinking about Bowen Byram was mine, but
Um, I mean, he's gonna be first or second on the team in 5v5 ice time in the series in the playoffs. I'm confident of that. He's got
yeah,
to he's got to defend a lot better than he did in the regular season, and he's
yeah,
got to continue driving play, and he's got to produce a little bit as well.
yeah. I think
Um,
him next to EJ
he was
will,
so
fill the
good
net.
in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's literally like he just has to play like he did in the playoffs last year, except
He's just
like
got to do that.
get goals this time. Like
Yeah,
don't take 30 seconds to shoot a puck on a 2-on-1 and then shoot it into Andre Vasilevsky's chest.
right. He's got to do it. Um, and so that's why he's my X factor, because if he doesn't play well, man, they're gonna struggle.
Yep.
So
I mean, you don't have anyone else to put in there. My X factor is Vasilevsky. Um,
yeah,
I mean, obviously the Avs defense is, like we kind of said, is like their makeshift second
mm-hmm.
line scoring. But Vasilevsky, I mean, he was a big reason for last year's success, and he's going to have to really be able to fill the net this year. He's found his groove again. I mean, he doesn't seem like, knock on wood, injured at all. As much.
He's definitely still. He doesn't have that burst.
You're seeing things.
He doesn't.
I don't know. Well, I feel like he does when he plays with the first line, and then when he plays on the second line, he doesn't. I don't know, but that's kind of my point. So on the second line, he just needs to just needs to be good. He can't be like as disappointing as he has. With again, with a little bit further down the line, if he's gonna have to produce some offense, he's gonna, I mean, obviously the defense in the forecheck will, you'll know that'll be there, but he's gonna have to like produce at a pretty decent clip.
Right. Is he point per game Vasilevsky, or is he Vasilevsky who, is good at defense but struggles to produce offense?
So I mean, his first two postseasons here, Vasilevsky was not very good offensively. Last year he kind of turned it up, and he's gonna, I mean his play continued in the regular season. He just got hurt, so if he could just keep up just keep up your production level. I mean, even like he was close to a point per game, even if he's at like 0.75 points per game or something like that, that'll be more than fine.
Mm-hmm. He's got to score some goals too, man. I feel like he didn't score enough goals this year.
Yeah, no, as the season went on, he definitely tailed off with his goal scoring production. He's going to 5v5 goal scoring is where I think he's going to, that's where I think he needs to step it up, because he did get a lot on the power play.
So. It's the same thing with Bleau, except instead of goal scoring, it's high danger chance prevention.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
Yep. It's
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's your prediction?
Avs in 6.
Mine's Avs in 5, and I honestly am tempted to pick 4.
I don't know. I think game 3. I can pencil game 3 in for an L. I don't know. This is the most sure I've been that the Avs would lose a game 3.
I feel like it's going to be game 4 if they lose one. Just
really?
Because Seattle needs to get a win for their fans and the first time they're in the playoffs. And it'll be a feel-good story. And then they'll come back to Colorado and they'll get shit stomped.
No, they're not going to get shit stomped because the Avs don't win series at home, Blake. Actually, now that I'm gone, they'll probably win series at home. But now that I'm not going to be there to watch.
I feel like that's just. I feel like there's some things that we haven't seen yet from the Avalanche core that we're going to see in these playoffs. I think they're going to win a series at home. fact, I think they're going to have to win a game 7. I think they're going to win a game 7. They might have to win multiple game 7s.
I was thinking about this.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if like they go on a run, not a single series is under 6 games.
I think this would be the only one.
Right.
I think this is 4 or 5. 6, I can see it if Seattle gets really lucky, like kind of like the Blues did last year. But
this does give Blues series vibes, doesn't it?
Nah.
A little bit. Like B tier Blues a little bit.
Right, like right, that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
Walmart
Blues.
With worse goaltending too.
Yeah.
Little better defense, but yeah. So I would say, yeah. I think after this though, it gets a lot harder. I think, but I mean, they're gonna have to do some things that they haven't been able to do yet. They're gonna have to win some series at home. They're gonna have to win some game 7s here.
They're gonna have the goalies steal a game probably or 2.
Oh yeah, in every series they play, except maybe this one. But Georgiev still got to play good. So in this one, but yeah, I think that just about does it.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll see how this goes.
Super excited.
This will be fun. History will be made no matter what. By the way, it's kind of like, so I was thinking about this. If you were to pick Seattle's, I mean, like obviously, if you were probably like a Seattle fan and you wanted them to win, you'd pick a not very good team. If you wanted to pick Seattle's first ever playoff opponent, defending Stanley Cup champion, it's not a. I feel like
they've had it so much harder than Vegas.
It'd be them or Vegas. I feel like who you'd
remember Vegas's first playoff opponent.
Oh yeah,
the LA. Kings. They were terrible. Yeah, and they've just gotten the opposite luck that Vegas got.
Oh yeah,
at the start of their franchise. Actually, they were lucky this year, so maybe not. Yeah.
Well, they're pretty lucky, but like, I mean, at least they were smart and didn't decide, oh, let's sell everything.
Yeah, they're building their team naturally. Yeah.
Yeah. Somehow Ron Francis has actually ended up being like kind of competent.
Yeah, I still think he should have unloaded a bit more after the expansion draft.
Yeah, for sure.
But other than that,
I mean, the top team sucked fine without him doing that. So.
Yeah. They got Shane Wright. So.
Yeah. And I was reminded of this. The Kraken chose not to pick JT Compher.
Yep, they chose not to. They chose Jonas Donskoy over JT Compher, and
let's see if JT Compher is going to be like, okay.
Is JT Compher about to put up like 6 points in 5 games or something, or is it going to be like 1 point?
Dunk on. Yeah.
So,
dude, I could see a series where JT Compher just dominates and he somehow gets like 2 goals and that's it because he just gets massively unlucky.
That's kind of how it's been.
Just as like his karmic balance.
That's kind of how it's been this year. Like his play driving is way better than it's ever been, and his finishing is way down from where it's ever been. So it's just like kind of It's just kind of balancing out. His defense is still elite, like it's always been.
So. Right. Another X factor, I would say, just throwing it out there, Evan Rodriguez. He was very good for Pittsburgh last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, totally. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, let's get ready to watch some playoff hockey, man. It'll be fun.
So excited. What jersey you got rolling out tomorrow?
I got every year start to the same one. Team North America, Nathan McKinnon.
Gotcha.
It's the
this guy. I don't know if you can see it in the background.
Oh, the Lecky?
62.
Yeah. Dude, it's going to be weird. Like, obviously, getting to go to the playoffs. I'm incredibly lucky to be able to do that. But this is going to be the first game one that I've missed of an Avs playoff series since 2013-14.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so giddy. Like, I just can't wait. Super nervous too. Just playoff vibes. So fun. It's the fun time of year, as Josh Manson was saying. It's the most wonderful time of year.
Yeah, my throat really hurts. If the Avs could have a nice, like, chill game.
Yeah.
Not be frustrated tomorrow. Big appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Big preach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's it. Do we? I mean, real quick, who do we got tonight? So it's
Finally,
Islanders
it's
and
here.
Carolina, and then it's okay. So it's Islanders, Carolina, Panthers, Bruins, Wild Stars, and Kings, Edmonton. Good job for kind of staggering out the start time for NHL. Did a good job. Loud.
Sorry.
All right. Game predictions. Who do you think is going to win, Islanders or Hurricanes?
Today,
Yeah.
I think the Canes are going to win game 1. Sorry, I'm watching Kale's press scrum because there was an amazing picture. Yeah, I think the Canes are going to win game 1.
Okay. Panthers, Bruins.
I think Bruins, yep.
And then Wild Stars.
I think Dallas wins it barely. I think they're going to squeak one out, like 3-2.
Okay. And then Kings, Oilers.
I think the Oilers are going to win game 1.
I think the Kings are going to win this one
pretty handily. I think they're going to win pretty handily. But then I think it becomes a series after. Yeah.
You know what? I could see that. Do you think any of these games go to overtime?
I think the Dallas-Minnesota one might go to overtime. I think that one might be 3-2 and like double overtime or something stupid.
I could see that, dude. I could see that. I think the Hurricanes Islanders one because it's the first game of the day and it's just going to go to like triple overtime or something, and we're going to be like, this is what we're in for. 6 more games of this.
And I tell you, I know what's going to happen. The first period, both teams are going to get a goal off a shin pad on a little floater, and then it's going to be 1-1 until triple overtime. And then, like you said that one time, Kyle Palmieri's going to throw a floater from the top of the circle, and it's just going to go in because Freddie Anderson.
Yeah, because Freddie Anderson. Remember when Freddie Anderson was good for the Hurricanes?
Last year, yeah. Wasn't long ago.
And then he died against the Avs.
Mm-hmm.
It was a little upsetting to watch, I'm not going to lie. All right, well, there we go. Let's hope for a good series and
have fun, everyone.
Yeah.
Don't go crazy.
Tomorrow with a post game. Defense season starts now.